Welcome to our podcast where today we are celebrating the 10th anniversary of Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I am your host, Detective Artemis.
Nah, I'm Jerni.
And this is Drink to a Decade.
Cheers,
man.
Clink.
Woo-wee!
Woo!
Put it in the air.
Ah.
All right, so Scott Pilgrim, man, it's been 10 years already. And I remember when this movie first came out, and it felt like it was only like 3 years ago.
Really? It felt longer than that.
It feels longer?
It feels longer for me. Because, like, if you look at all the actors and the faces that were there, they looked so young and
That's
almost
true.
unrecognizable.
Yeah, I even forgot that fucking what's-her-face, Brie Larson was in this movie.
I always forget that Anna Kendrick's in this movie.
Yeah.
Always.
Man. All right. So directed by Edgar Wright, who's done movies like Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and most recently, I think it was Baby Driver, which was, I heard, a really good movie. I haven't seen it. Is it really good?
Bro, it has the best soundtrack ever in a movie. It's so good.
That's
it's
what
amazing.
I hear too. So you think I should watch that?
No, most definitely. It's like, didn't it win an award?
Probably.
It's that good.
See, I hear Baby
It's that
Driver,
good.
and I think of that Ryan Gosling movie. Was it Drive?
Drive.
That's actually a pretty good movie.
I haven't seen that one.
Ah, come on, man. Come on.
We have homework.
All right, we got
homework.
Homework. All right, so with this movie, I noticed that it's still very watchable today. Like, I don't think it's really aged at all. You know, a lot of the effects and the graphics look really good. And like you mentioned, the cast, there's a lot of great cast members in this movie. We got Chris Evans. We have freaking Thomas Jane, Punisher.
Yeah. Michael Cera, Anna Kendrick. Who else? We said Chris Evans, right?
Yeah,
right?
Chris Evans. It's the first one. This is my favorite one. Yeah.
Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah.
Aubrey
from
Plaza.
Parks and Rec. Yeah, dude.
Full disclosure, though, I hate Michael Cera. I fucking hate Michael Cera.
I'm okay with him.
I fucking hate him. He's the only flaw in this movie to me.
You think so?
It's a perfect movie for me, except for him. If it was anybody else but him, then it'll be a masterpiece. But he ruins that. He's that new toy you buy from Amazon. It comes in the package and like there's just like a chip in it. He's a chip.
So with that being said, who would you replace Michael Cera with if you could?
Damn.
You weren't expecting that.
No. Okay.
I had that in the chamber.
Top of my head. Zac Efron.
Zac Efron?
Yeah. But he was a baby at that time, so it wouldn't have worked. But if you were to cast him now, I think Zac Efron will kill it.
I don't know.
Because like I've read the comic, and Scott was a lot more deeper in there, and like there was like a lot of aspects where he was an asshole. He was a scumbag in that.
Right.
Not in the beginning, but as you get to know him and you really get the backstories, you realize he was a bit of a scumbag. So I think Zac Efron would fit that because I've seen his funny stuff. I've seen his more serious stuff. When he played Ted Bundy, it really showed his like cynical side, and yeah.
But that's more recent. This is 2010, like High School Musical. Zac Efron. Do you think he would probably have the?
Like I said, I would cast him now.
If they were to make the movie now.
But back then, I honestly, I can't think of anybody back then.
Okay. Well, I think the thing with why they chose Michael Cera is like he's the ultimate like underdog, like the fucking.
But that's
like,
all
loser.
he was playing though. That's all he really plays. I mean, look at what Superbad.
Yeah, typecasting.
and,
Juno.
Juno. Yeah, I mean that's why he.
And that playlist one, whatever the fuck it's called.
Oh, Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. I
one.
fucking love that movie.
Yeah, so
Still hate him though.
So I get why they cast Michael Cera, and yeah, it is a little off to see him like try to be a badass and like fight people. But honestly, like in the context of the movie, not reading the comics, I thought it was cool. I actually liked him in it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like I said, his performance wasn't terrible. It's just my personal.
Yeah, and it's like his dry comedic delivery is still there. Like it's super reminiscent of fucking Arrested Development.
Yeah, it really is. Oh, that's another one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And like in Scott in the comic is like kind of the same way too.
So real quickly then, because I haven't read the comics, but I've seen the movie and I love the movie, and you've done both. So kind of go, I guess, briefly with the difference between the comics and the movie.
Well, for one, it's like wow, there's a lot because I love the fact that in the movie they make a small little joke in the background where it's like, oh, the book is better than the movie.
Yeah,
like they made that joke in it.
That one dude.
That one dude. But it is true, but only because there's so much content. It's 6 volumes.
Yeah, so there's more to cover for sure.
So I think the movie did a great job compacting it together as much as possible. But the comics really dives deep into all of his relationships with his friends, like with Kim, his past relationship with her, because they just briefly go over it.
Yeah, like a few throwaway lines.
Yeah, so like for one, it's like Kim's breakup with her. It's like in the past, So they mentioned her in the movie where when he fights the lesbian,
Yeah.
right before the lead up, she's like, "Oh, it's like you're saying that breakups aren't that bad." It's like, well, look at Knives. What about Kim? How was that? And he mentions, I fought like 96 guys and then one really big dude to try to get her.
Right.
That was the story he had in his head in the comic. And they actually showed
so
a
it's
flashback.
a reference. It's a reference to the comic.
Reference to the comic.
Oh, cool.
And so it's like there's a lot more deeper story behind him and also Envy. Also, they mentioned this other girl Lisa. There was another girl named Lisa.
Who was she?
She was so before he was in Sex About Moms, he was in another band with like Kim when he was dating her. And there's a girl named Lisa. She was also in a band with them. It was Lisa, Kim, and him. And like,
is there any
they
significance
almost
with her?
didn't. Yes, later on there is because in the last volume, he starts kind of like closing doors and getting closure in his own way because the whole Scott Pilgrim legacy is of him getting his life together.
Right.
Watching
self-respect and fighting for love.
Exactly.
Right.
Completely watching himself break down and then kind of like in the end redeeming himself. And so Lisa was one of those girls where that he ends up talking to and like redeeming himself because he like they almost dated.
Okay.
But didn't date.
So she was kind of like the friend who sort of helped him guide through these like personal issues.
Kind of, not really.
No. What was she? What was the point of her then?
He almost cheated on Ramona with her.
Oh.
And then in the comics, his relationship with Ramona was a real relationship. Because in the movie, it feels so short, almost like a fling.
Yeah.
In the comics,
she was all up on him way too quick.
Right?
The fuck.
Oh no, well that was in the comics though. It was kind of like a spark in the beginning, but they really showed their relationship because like Wallace does kick him out at one. Well, that doesn't kick him out. Tries to kick him out, but he ends up moving in with Ramona, and they live together for a while, and like you see their relationship, and it's the comic really dives into a relationship, not this like week-long thing that the movie makes it look like.
Yeah, it feels like it was just about like a week or so.
Yeah, it was definitely longer than that in the comics. So you really feel more connected to their relationship and more invested in them actually like working out in the end.
Right, and it's crazy because like this movie's just about like almost 2 hours, so they put a lot in there. I wonder if there was like a lot of deleted scenes or stuff that just didn't make it that kind of showed more of such things like that.
I never.
It's usually what happens.
Yeah, I never looked up deleted
it's
scenes.
Almost 2 hours, so it's not like they they rushed it an hour and a half, get the shit out of here.
Yeah,
they actually tried, and it's a lot of great detail, a ton of video game references, obviously.
Oh, most definitely. I've never played the video game.
The beat 'em up game.
Yeah,
it was really fun.
So you played it?
Yeah,
but you never read the comic.
No,
I've read the comic.
I never finished
played
the
video game.
What the hell, man?
We have more.
If we fuse together, we will be like the ultimate being.
Do you have the game? Because I have the comics.
I do not have the game.
We could download it.
We'll get to that. But going back to Wallace, actually, he was hilarious in the movie. He had like some of the greatest lines.
Yeah, Wallace was a perfect casting. Also, Aubrey Plaza as Julie was perfect. Like those were spot on castings, along with Chris Evans.
we'll get to him. But yeah, I think going back to Wallace again, like I think he's probably my favorite Culkin. Not Home Alone kid or the kid from Signs. They're all Culkins, by the way.
There's more than one Culkin. I didn't know
there's three. I just named three. There's probably more.
Holy shit! I only knew of one Culkin.
Do you remember?
Now I see the resemblance.
Yeah, the dead behind the eyes. It's a trademark. If you go back and watch Home Alone 1, do you remember where they're like, Kevin, if you don't stop right now, you're going to go with Fuller, and he pees the bed, he's drinking a soda. That's Wallace.
Whoa. Okay, I didn't know that shit.
Yeah.
I did not know that. But there was a lot of different stuff like that. I watched it with Kay the other night, and like he mentioned the two vegan cops. One of them was a guy from Westworld.
Oh, yeah? Well, one of them was Punisher.
And one of them was Punisher.
Yeah. Crazy. A lot of people who were cast as superheroes before and after are in this movie.
And then, like, again, it's like I really liked Wallace's character. He was flawless. And he also had that weird chemistry because he was always trying to turn Scott gay.
Like, dude, like, I wouldn't mind having a friend like that because he was pretty cool. And he made sure that, like, Scott, like, tried to get his head straight and do all this shit.
Bro, he was letting him couch surf with him. Like, he was a jobless bum, and like he was letting him sleep in the same bed with him with his boyfriend.
Yeah, he's better than most of my friends. Yes, offense. Man, so going back to the well, we mentioned Chris Evans, so let's talk about our favorite evil X's. You want to go first? Just kidding, I'm gonna go first. I like Chris Evans, Lucas Lee. That entire scene is probably my favorite. His douchey persona and like the way he delivers lines, and it's like, whoa, that's actually hilarious.
Whoa.
I think he was probably my favorite evil X and my favorite scene in the entire movie.
Okay, all right. Also, your favorite X fight?
Yes, also my favorite X fight.
Okay.
It was either him or Matthew Patel.
Matthew Patel. So
Pirates are in this year.
Pirates are in this year. So my favorite X is going to be Todd, the vegan. He was my favorite, especially because in the comics, they really dived into that, like Todd's character and his background, and like Todd's my favorite. Fucking Brandon Routh.
Yeah.
And then my favorite X fight is actually with the lesbian. I forgot her name. Shit. Said the girl from Arrested Development,
Yeah,
but her actual character name I don't remember. That was my favorite fight because I love how Scott and Ramona get together and and he uses him as a fighting tool.
That's a good scene of them showing like working really well as a unit.
Yes.
Because that is a thing, and then like another reoccurring theme is him with Knives being a good unit together.
Yes.
Remember they're doing the video game thing, and then at the end they're fighting together, and even Ramona's like, oh, you guys work really well together. So
a good combo. You guys had a good combo.
Yeah, so that was another thing too. So that was kind of like, he has chemistry with both of them.
Yes.
But he was closer. But he was close with Ramona, physically and emotionally.
Exactly. And so what's amazing, it's like one of the memes I saw during like Infinity War, it was like, it's still my favorite. It was a Scott Pilgrim meme where it says Scott Pilgrim is a total G because he beats up Captain America and also Superman and dated Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a badass.
That's true. Although it's hard to picture that it's Michael Cera's face behind that.
Yeah, unfortunately. Also, quick fact from the comic: it's like the whole in the back of the knee thing.
Yeah,
it's not her.
It's not.
No, Envy is the one that has the weak knee.
Oh,
yeah. So they switched it over because they really like that idea of like orgasm, having an orgasm from the back of the knee thing. So like instead of giving it to Envy, they gave it to her.
Does he fight Envy at all like that?
No, Envy starts fighting Knives.
Oh, so Envy fights Knives
and Ramona.
It's a triple threat match.
She's really Envy knows how to fight. She was beating both of their ass.
You don't see that at all in the movie.
Yeah, you don't.
Man, I wonder if that behind the knee thing is real. Let me check.
Softer.
I got a little tingle. Stop it! All right. So the movie also, what I liked about it was the soundtrack. It was actually a pretty cool soundtrack.
Yeah,
it was nice, like crunchy, like garage grunge punk rock kind of stuff.
Anamanaguchi is the name of the band, right?
For the video game, for the movie.
The video game.
All the songs were produced by Beck.
So Beck produced
Beck.
all the songs. Beck. Yeah. But then the video game was Anamanaguchi.
Bless you.
If you haven't, I love that name. If you haven't checked out Anamanaguchi, they have like a lot of really good video game music, like sounding stuff. It's really dope. But they had an amazing soundtrack. I loved it, and sound effects too, with all the coins and everything.
Oh my god! So now that you mention that, now as a fellow editor, how hard do you think was to edit this movie with all the quick cuts, all the fades, all the graphics, all like the music and everything? I'm looking at this like I'm like, fuck this. I'm like troubling like editing a 5-minute video. I'm losing my hair and shit. And like I see this. And it was edited by 2 dudes.
No way.
Yeah.
You're kidding. 2 dudes did all that.
Well, yeah.
Because there's green screening, there's motion graphics.
Like, a lot of movies have like multiple editors. Sometimes it's just one. I guess depending on the gravity of the project. But I'm looking at this and I'm like, if one guy or one person did this, kudos to them because that's a lot of work.
So let's just say one of them did the timeline and the other one did the graphics, maybe?
Maybe. That's kind of how we usually work. I'll lock the edit and I'll send it to you. You put some makeup on it, wham, bam.
But still, that was a lot of work.
It's still a lot of work. Nearly a 2-hour movie, man. That shit must have took months.
Yeah. They must have gotten paid really well, though.
Yeah. I would probably quit after that. Be like, look, this is my best work. I got to look up, see what they did. But yeah, great editing. I thought that was spectacular.
With that kind of resume, you're like, I did Scott Pilgrim. Me and one other dude. Oh shit.
Yeah, and like
you do whatever you want.
And you don't really notice that stuff like as a casual viewer or anything like that. You're just like, oh, that looks cool. But like, if you don't do it, it's like you don't understand like the time that goes into that, and just it's a lot of work. So with me, like whatever I know, I really appreciated all the crap they put in that.
Everything like so yes, the editing, the animation. I loved how they actually inserted comic panels.
Yeah.
Into the thing. The music was fantastic. All the bands and the songs that they played. I still listen to Black Sheep to this day. It's on my playlist.
Hello.
Can't get copyrighted. Sorry, we can't sing the whole song.
Fuckers. We'll probably get a strike anyway. I don't care.
Oh well, who cares?
But yeah, so there was a lot going for this movie, and honestly, it's based off a comic book, or is it comic book, or is it a manga?
No, it's a comic book.
Comic
but,
book, okay.
But the way the comic book artist Brian Lee O'Malley, who wrote and drew this, he was inspired by manga. That's why he did it completely black and white. And he actually jokes around in it, where he talks about, because you know how Ramona constantly changes her hair.
Yeah.
So like he makes that joke in the comic where he's like, "Oh, you changed your hair," and he's like, "Haha, this is a black and white comic." And then later on, he re-released a comic in full color, and then he took that joke out. But it's funny, it's there, but he was inspired by manga, but he didn't change the left to right, because manga's right to left.
Right.
So he didn't change it. He stuck to the left and right, but he was inspired by it.
In your opinion, is the black and white better than the color one?
I personally do, because like I'm like an artist and I fucking hate color. I was one of those kids that could never draw inside the like color inside the lines.
Yeah,
but I love the lines. I do. But I love the line drawings of comics, because if you really love one panel and you're trying to be an artist, you can, because you have the lines, go ahead and redraw it. Like you can easily redraw it. It's something about the basics that feels so natural. So I personally like black and white stuff.
Oh, okay. You just remind me of Mallrats. Have you seen Mallrats?
It's been a while, bro. I freaking love Mallrats. With freaking.
I'm sorry, not Mallrats. Fucking Chasing Amy.
Chasing Amy.
Yes.
Okay.
So remember
the Stan Lee scene.
Where they're
That's
going,
my favorite.
Yeah. So where they go with Jason Lee, his whole thing is like, "Oh, I'm an inker," and they're like, "Oh, you're a fucking tracer." I'm an inker.
I'm an inker. An inker is like it's a respectable job.
It is.
Your job is to establish the line drawing and the contrast. All like,
because you got the writer, you got the penciler who like makes it look good, and then you got to put in the ink in there. It's a lot of work, but I mean, if you want to like oversimplify, sure, he's a tracer, but I thought it was funny in the movie they're just bringing it up like, you're a fucking tracer, we'll just accept what you are.
It's a hard job. Honestly, inkers have the best penmanship, because they need to know how to do the perfect stroke.
It's true. I don't have a steady hand. I have a fucking like, I don't want to say it, but an blank J Fox hand. Sometimes.
You Michael J Fox. Hey.
Oh, you said it. You're an asshole.
You Michael J Fox your ass.
Yeah, probably. Fucking hell. So going back to Scott Pilgrim, we talked about the evil exes. Going back to your favorite one, the chick. You noticed her whip. It was an obvious reference for was it Soul Calibur, I believe. Chick, her name was Ivy. She had like a chain whip like that.
Yeah, I've seen that chain whip before. I never liked fighting games, but I do remember that.
Yeah, I know very well you don't like fighting games.
Yeah, I suck at them.
Yeah, I know. I've been
Street
there.
Fighter.
Street Fighter.
You and your Street Fighter.
But yeah,
but I do remember that was a reference to that game, right?
Yeah, there was a ton of other video game references as well. And you got the Zelda like sound bites in the beginning and all that stuff. Dun, 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 dun.
That's true. Where's the when he fights the twins? You know that like that music, that amp versus amp thing.
Yeah.
Was that in the video game? You never finished the video game.
I never finished the game. Chris, is that the video game?
That was in the video game.
Thank
the
you.
Two monsters.
I got 2 thumbs up back here.
The
That's the
kaiju
video
fighting.
game.
I love that we have
Fantastic.
those producers.
I love these guys here.
Yes.
All right. So now that you mentioned the Katanagi twins, I might be looking too far into this, but when they have the their 2 dragons, little kaiju thing.
Yeah.
Would you think that'd be a reference to Double Dragon?
I thought so too, because like right when they it's been a long time since I played Double Dragons, but you remember when the
best beat 'em up games.
The stage comes up and their logo's right in the middle. You see the logos fuse and it's a Double Dragon. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Maybe.
But
and the gorilla, I'm probably looking into it. Maybe Rampage. Rampage is a fun game.
It looked like a Rampage reference.
But yeah,
one of those monsters.
I don't know. I'm probably looking too far into it, but I like to think at least that was a Double Dragon thing, because I wouldn't put it past him with all the other video game references they put in here.
Yeah, and all the classic stuff too, because that's what the video game went for. It was
dude,
that classic beat 'em up.
Pretty much like all the cast members, like the main ones at least, are like from our age group. So this is the shit we literally grew up with. No. You know, like Link to the Past and stuff like that, which is honestly my favorite Zelda game. Go ahead and fight me. I don't give a fuck.
Link to the Past.
Link to the Past. And then Ocarina.
Well, Karina, hands down, yes, of course, that's like the all-time best one. But,
It's like
from talking about like
quintessential.
top scrollers, what about top scrollers?
Side-scrollers?
I think like no top like Link's
Oh.
Awakening
Okay.
and like Link to the Past was a top scroller too.
That's
right?
true. I played Link's Awakening, but it was
Link's Awakening was my
the
favorite.
remake one, the one that just came out on Switch.
Oh, that's still a top one view though.
Yeah, but it was actually pretty fun. It was really easy though.
Yeah, was it lazy?
No, I say easy.
Oh,
It was pretty easy, I guess, compared to most of them. It was kind of short too, but anyways, editing was fantastic. Music was great. Casting was good.
What else do we have left to talk about? This
Well, it was also very quotable too. Like I still find myself saying some of the quotes. He punched the highlights out of her hair.
He punched the highlights out of her hair.
No vegan powers. No vegan. Wait, no vegan diet. No vegan powers.
Milk and eggs, bitch.
Gelato isn't vegan.
When I was like, yeah, no, I love. Oh, I'm in lesbians with you. Oh, but chicken parm is not vegan.
The other L word. Lesbians.
Lesbians.
Oh man.
Shit. Oh, one of my favorite lines, like the serious lines though, it's when Ramona tells him, it's like, you're just another ex waiting to happen.
Yeah, even like
That
Stills is
part
like,
hits me.
ouch.
I was like, oh,
Because she was
shit.
right. Like he was going down that path. He was being bitter and he was all this
Yeah.
stuff. And it's like I said, like the whole point of him, his whole arc in this movie is to learn self-respect and love, mostly self-respect. So that's why when he gets the extra life, he does all that stuff. He gets closure with what's his name, the drummer Kim. So he's like, I'm sorry about this, and like he's getting closure with them. He's kind of bettering himself, and then he has the fight with himself, the Nega Scott.
Well, he doesn't actually fight him.
No, but I mean, he has the little like the showdown with him, and like he becomes one with himself.
Yeah,
and he, like even though they didn't fight, it was still funny, and like the whole point was for him to just be one with himself. And
in the comic, he fights him.
Yeah,
The Nega Scott, he fights him in the comic.
how cool is that?
Really dope, but it was a super dramatic moment. Super dramatic, and like it was the moment where his change in his life starts. After he finally confronts like Nega Scott and Kim and everything, it's like, cause like you remember how I told you how like in his head he imagined that he fought 96 guys and one dude to get Kim. That wasn't true. No, he stole Kim from another guy.
Really?
That's what actually happened, but he changed it in his mind. And so when he finally realized that all this was in his head, that he was trying to make light of things, there's more to it. It's not all him, but there was Gideon did a lot of it. But yeah, it's like that was a moment when he confronts himself, becomes one with himself, with the part that he wants to avoid. Because like it's when it comes to like relationships, it's because this is all about relationships and love and exes and breakups and heartbreak. You can't help feeling guilty, embarrassed. You think about your exes and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah. And
every time we talk about our exes, we're like, oh man, I can't believe that.
Hey, you live and learn.
You pretend it never happened, and we're like, oh, who are you talking about? I don't remember that.
I think you're supposed to just sort of move on from it and not forget it, and just be like, that guy was an idiot, and now I am not that person. I've leveled up.
Exactly, and that's what Scott Pilgrim is all about: leveling up, accepting it, and moving on, and just yeah. It's like it's so there's so much more behind it, and that's why I love this whole series.
You mentioned somebody going through heartache and all that stuff. There's a scene where after he dumps Knives, he's on the bus. And so there's like, it's a shot of him and then a shot of Knives looking sad and a shot back at him. He's still kind of sad. And it's a shot to Ramona. And then he like lifts up and smiles, being like, it sucked, but now I can actually kind of move on to Ramona. And like, that's one of the hard things about relationships. It's like sometimes you got to be that person to pull the trigger. If it's not going, if it's not working out, just fuck it.
And he was a scumbag for not pulling the trigger before that. Because
exactly.
He wanted to break up with her way before that.
See, we have our main character, the one we're supposed to root for. He was a dick.
Yeah.
He was a scumbag.
No, he was a complete scumbag.
Even with his like arc redemption, it was like, he was like, I don't know if it's like he was written that way or it's just Michael Cera, but he wasn't likable as a main protagonist.
Well, in the comics, he's not like he is likable in the beginning, but you start hating him.
Oh, okay.
So no, that idea is that you're supposed to be like, hey, this is my main character. I love him. He's funny. He's charismatic, and he's a lady killer. He really is. He doesn't look like he is, but he is. But then as you really get to know his personality, the fact is, he's a fucking pussy. He is. He's a pussy, and that's why you hate him.
Can you unpack that for me?
So, talking about it, it's like, okay, he hates confrontation. One, and that was that's the main thing.
That's true.
So like he's always like, oh, so he,
I have to pee.
I have to pee, and he's like, oh, I have to pee on her. Like it's yeah. So he avoids confrontation, even though he's supposed to be fighting 7Xs.
Right.
And he always makes it seem like it's not his fault, that this isn't what he wants. In the beginning, he was all for it. He's willing to fight for this girl. But then, like, halfway through it, he's like, I don't want this. This is way too much. I don't want, like, this wasn't even my idea. It's like, I don't want to fight people for you. And then, so he's back and forth. He's just an indecisive pussy.
Yeah, and he wasn't taking any sort of accountability for his actions.
No accountability whatsoever. And you, like, he's your main character. You love him because he's your friend. Honestly, you end up liking him because that's what he is. He's a friendly dude. But he needs to grow the fuck up.
Yeah.
Grow the fuck up.
Even in the movie, like at the
end.
end.
We know a lot of people like that too.
Yep. I won't say any names, but you know who you are, Jerni. All right, so.
Fuck you.
So, like.
Fuck you too. Fuck you too.
Fuck your producers. I will eat your babies, bitch.
Wait. Pre or post fertilized?
Moving on. So. Sorry. I don't know why, but Jerni has a huge erection right now. Take your time. Take your time. I'm gonna.
You said you were gonna eat his babies.
True, I didn't specify, but I thought it would be implied. It wouldn't be like in the fetal stage, like in that South Park episode.
Oh man.
You know, I'm like those. I'm gonna be those teachers. I'll just wait till it gets quiet.
Okay. All right. You go for it. Go for it. I'm done crying.
Yeah.
I'm not actually. I'm not.
He
done
is
crying.
literally crying.
All right. Continue.
You good?
I'm good.
Okay, my train of thought is derailed.
Yeah. Mine's too.
Stop laughing because you're making me laugh.
I can't. Okay, let me set.
All right, let's dip. Alcohol, realign us. Why is it so funny to you?
It's Khalid.
I'm gonna what?
You're gonna eat his babies.
It's true. Juicy.
It probably tastes like petroleum.
What does that taste like? I guess I'll have to find out.
Yeah. No.
All right, so
I'm good. I took a dip. Go for
fantastic.
it.
That's
Back
fantastic.
on track.
Back
Okay.
on track.
What
So
were
what
we
were we
talking
talking about? Goodfellas?
No.
Scott Pilgrim. All right.
Still on Scott Pilgrim.
So at the end of the day, it's like we had a character who was not, you didn't really want to root for, and he did have an arc, he did have some redemption, but then it was just like whatever. And I think pretty much all the other characters were far more likable than he was. Like even like fucking young Neil, I liked him better.
Oh no, young Neil. Yeah, well, he was supposed to be the like kind of. I don't know. Always saw it's like this is what Scott should have been. Like this is like a younger version because like young Neil was charismatic too. Kind of looked like them too. So it's like he was supposed to be the younger version of like what Scott should have been, the nicer one.
That's actually
responsible.
That's a good point because he was like, oh, young Neil, all my bass lines already ends up replacing him. He was just a replacement for him. Like he was, like you said, better version of him. So that's a good point. Also, the fight scenes, they looked awesome.
Dude, they had really great choreography.
Mm-hmm.
Like
it's a good mix of CGI and like stunts and putting Michael Cera's face in the stuntman.
And
that's not him unless it is, and I have a newfound respect for him.
It's so easy to just fake his. I swear to God, I think Michael Cera wears this, like a wig the whole entire time. That hairstyle just doesn't make sense to me.
Probably.
It's like the perfect Messi. Like I struggle with this.
Yeah.
He has the perfect like Messi, and that doesn't make any sense to me.
Probably.
None.
But the fight scenes are really good. So kudos to the choreographer, the editors, everything.
Right.
The camera cuts it's great. So now since this has like a good video, like a video game feel to it, and it's also based off a comic book, would you say it's like probably what could be the best video game movie? Because it didn't feel like it was a video game until like. Well, I started like when they go to the door for the first time, I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? Like slide into the door. And then when they started fighting, I'm like, what the fuck is this? I didn't expect this because I never read the comic. I didn't see a trailer. I just saw the movie. And then I was torn, like blown away by it. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. Actually, like I was actually like, digging the fight scenes. And I think right there is where people either turn it off or they keep watching with the Matthew Patel fight.
You hit me with a really fucked up question, and it's so hard.
That's what I do.
Because Scott Pilgrim is one. I think as a comic book adaptation, I don't think it's the greatest.
Let's start with that. Yeah,
it's good, and then as a video game adaptation, I would probably yes, like it is great. I wouldn't say it's the best.
I mean, it's not
But then I
technically.
can't really think about what the best would be.
I mean, it's not technically a video game adaptation, but it feels like a video game movie.
But then again, it's like so. The first thing that came out was a comic book,
Right.
Then the video game, then the movie.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yes.
Producers, is that true?
That's a fact check. We talked about this last night, but yeah, no, it was comic book, video game. Then we had the movie, because that's why it was so inspired. Because like in the comic book, they didn't have the when he fights the twins with the monsters. That wasn't in the comic book, so but it was in the movie. So in the video game, so the video game came before the movie.
Okay. Well, when it comes down to it, it is a comic book adaptation because that's where the source was from.
Well, yes,
But I mean, I don't know. I think it's really just one of those like weird, one of a kind movies that like you just can't really explain, but you really like it, and everything in the movie works.
Nicolas Cage. Are you a good actor? Are you just fucking crazy?
He's Nicolas Cage.
He's crazy, or he's a great fucking actor. It doesn't make any sense. It's just a fucking paradox. It's a fucking paradox.
Like Nick Cage just cranks it to 11. I will always remember the movie with the oh my god, what was it called with the fucking bees in his head? It was a remake, the Wicker Man.
It's been I fell asleep
Have
during
you seen
Wicker Man.
Okay, well,
I fell asleep during Wicker Man. It was so weird.
There's one scene where like they put the bees on him. He's like, the bees, and it's just so over the top.
Yeah.
It's quintessential Nick Cage.
All right. So I'm gonna say that great, like a shitty comic book adaptation, good video game adaptation. That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay. Now, do you think we will ever have a really good video game movie? Because I think Silent Hill and Mortal Kombat are the best video game movies as of now.
I'm thinking about what he just said.
What did he say?
He said Sonic.
Sonic, dude. I forgot about Sonic.
And yeah, I was thinking about it, and I was like, honestly, yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, no, that movie was really fucking good. I went through a remake in production to be that good.
Yeah,
and it's like, yeah, I think.
But that one's more.
Silent Hill was dope too.
But see, with Sonic though, it's a video game character, but he's meshing into like an original story. It's not taking the plot of the first game. You know, so
yeah, I feel like there was also another video game movie.
I'm gonna say Mortal Kombat is good. Like I hate fucking Paul Anderson because he destroyed my Resident Evil. But Mortal Kombat, for what it was cool fighting and just mindless action. And the first movie, it's like that's what the game is. Like I love Mortal Kombat, and like I know the story is not that great.
Yeah,
and you know it's like porn. You don't care about the story most of the time. Most of the time, you know, it's where the action's at. And I think for 1995 when it came out, that was cool. And I think Zack Snyder, I know you're listening because I know you follow me, even though you really don't. You need to do Mortal Kombat. I've been saying this for years. You can't do a really good story, but you, God damn it, you can make it look good, and you can help, you know, choreograph them fight scenes. Talking to you, Watchmen. Good stuff.
Okay, I got the perfect video game movie.
What is it?
Pokemon.
Detective Pikachu?
Yeah, Detective Pikachu, and even the animated stuff. It's technically a video game.
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, because
technically.
That's true. I did really enjoy the movie.
Detective Pikachu was amazing.
I loved it. That was a good movie.
It's just furry, adorable mess.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But going back to Silent Hill real quick, it's like one of the few movies that Sean Bean didn't die in.
Holy shit! Lucky him.
You don't remember, do you?
No.
Yeah.
I was trying to play it off. Thank you for calling me out.
You were a goddamn jellyfish, man.
Yeah, no, it's like I'm looking through his list, and yeah, no, it's like there's not a lot of good ones. We had high hopes for Assassin's Creed. Remember how excited we were for Assassin's Creed? Assassin's Creed is like one of your favorite video game series. I love Assassin's
Creed. Yeah, and like I love Michael Fassbender, and like I love that he was so hands-on. And
he's
like
my favorite actor.
And Ubisoft had a ton of control over the script. This wasn't a studio meddling thing. It was them, and like it seemed just really. I don't want to say kind of boring at times. Convoluted. It was. It really was. They didn't have to put the animus in there. They could have just set the movie in that time period.
Right.
That's it. Keep it because you want to make it like easy for the general audience to like watch it because you know it's not really made for the fans. So I think it would have been easier to digest if they just did a just like a piece,
Right.
Just the whole Altair piece, or Ezio, or build up towards Ezio.
Yeah.
Because he's like one of the coolest ones.
Yeah,
but
he's like
I love Altair.
He's like the central character though. Ezio is.
He's probably in the most like games. But yeah, so I think that would have been better for them if they just sort of focused on the time period and forget about Abstergo, the Animus.
We are getting off topic, but still, like,
I'm sorry. I love Assassin's Creed.
My favorite video game series is BioShock, and I'm still waiting for a movie like that. But this boy over there is excited for the Borderlands ones they're doing, right? Yeah, Kay's excited for Borderlands, and it's a show or movie? Movie.
That's right. They just cast somebody too.
And they casted somebody.
I think, for Lilith. I forget
Lilith?
Kara's name.
Oh, Rosario Dawson? No, wait.
No.
Who did she get recently casted?
Ahsoka.
Soka. Fuck yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, so.
Oh, the chick who was the Hela.
Oh,
the chick
Kate
who.
Blanchett.
Kate Winslet.
No, that was Titanic.
Is it? No, is it?
Kate Blanchett?
Kate Blanchett.
Kate
Yeah.
Blanchett is playing Lilith in Borderlands movie.
Hella.
So
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they don't fuck that up.
Not Hela, but Lilith. Yeah, you just said
Yeah, Lilith. Lilith. She's playing Lilith.
Yeah, and isn't it Eli Roth doing it, or is he producing it?
Eli Roth?
I think so.
He's on his phone. Eli Roth? That's producing Borderlands.
Is he directing or producing right now?
This is why we have producers.
Yeah, right. God.
Usually I'm back there Google searching. This feels good right here.
Yeah, right.
directed by Eli Roth.
Oh, you know it's gonna be gory as shit. I love Eli Roth.
Yeah,
Borderlands itself should be
Exactly.
series, so.
it has to be good.
100%, brother.
100%.
Oh man. All right.
Yeah.
So sorry, Scott Pilgrim time.
Okay.
I think we covered just about everything. I liked, we talked about the fight scenes, the editing, the cast, the references, the editing,
crossovers
the
between
crossovers.
everything, comparisons.
I don't know, man. I think as of now, like we said, it's still very watchable and it hasn't aged at all.
It is, and it's currently still on Netflix to this day right now. Because
As of now.
last night,
Yeah.
as of now, I was there last night, and no, I like it. It's like, dude, Brie Larson's almost unrecognizable. I think she's cuter. It's just before her man face.
She's actually kind of she's way more, I don't want to say likable because she's a villain in the movie, but she's more entertaining to watch as she was in more than she was in Captain Marvel. Because Captain Marvel, she was just,
Everybody hates her as Captain Marvel.
I don't know, she can be funny. Like we see her in 21 Jump Street. She was in there. She was the love interest.
Crap, I need to rewatch.
Yeah, so she can be funny.
I only know the two main characters.
She can
in the
act
movie.
and she's funny, but why do they make her just so robotic, plank face? She's.
Because I think her face grew into that.
I don't know.
Because
I blame the directors really because
there's levels of restless bitch face. in Scott Pilgrim, that was what, a 3 or a 4? Would you say it's like a 3 or 4 in Scott Pilgrim? Her resting her RBF. It's like a 3 or 4.
It's not that bad, so I give it like a 3.
Like a 3, and then you look at her in Captain Marvel, and that's up at an 8.
it looks like she's just annoyed with everything.
Like I say, she's an 8 in Captain Marvel.
So I'm not sure if that was intentional because like in Hunger Games, you got Jennifer Lawrence just mono-faced, monotone,
as bad as Kristen Stewart.
Forget her. Well, what I'm saying is that because Jennifer Lawrence, she can act and all that stuff, but why do they intentionally make her like that? I guess maybe in the books she was just sort of just unlikable, or just kind of bland.
Envy? No, Envy had a lot of character.
I was about Katniss, but probably.
Oh, we're still talking. Okay, my bad. No,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, in Katniss, no. I read the books too, and
You read the Hunger Games?
yeah, I did.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
Who are you?
I had this audiobook phase. So when I was working at Beachbody,
So you didn't read it.
Yes and no.
You listened to it.
Audiobooks is basically reading.
You're not reading.
Someone's reading it for me, but it's
So
still
if someone-
consuming. It's still. I'm still consuming literature.
You listen to podcasts. You don't read them.
You're still. Yeah, but that's.
Do you read podcasts?
That's a talk show. And then audiobooks are books being read to you, so it's still consuming literature, and it's kind of like reading.
It's not reading. You're not reading. You're listening to it. Someone's telling you a bedtime story.
I still know what the book is.
Okay,
what
all right,
about
all
you,
right.
bitch?
Okay,
what
I'm
about
sorry.
you?
I can't read.
Well, you played a good Katniss, because that was exactly how Katniss is, kind of, pretty
All right.
much. Yeah, very.
Oh, okay, so that was intentional. Okay,
That
so
was intentional.
whatever. Anyways, so I guess we could just wrap it up here with Scott Pilgrim. So
Okay, yeah, because we went off topic at the end.
that's okay. That's
we lost
what we do.
material.
That's what we do.
The
Hey,
vodka
you
started
you
kicking
you
in.
did almost die from laughter, which was
Yeah.
hilarious and Oh no, it's coming back.
Oh my god, I'm gonna post it on our Instagram. The moment where you say I'm gonna eat your baby.
All right, well, we're gonna wrap it up here. So once again, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So happy 10 years to Scott Pilgrim.
Cheers.
Great movie, and we still love you. Fantastic.
Awesome.
So once again, thank you for joining us here. You can find us on all available podcast platforms. You can follow me on Twitter at detective_Artie. Please be sure to follow us when you can.
Yep, and you can find me on all social media as Jerni101. Also follow Movie Melee on the Melee Lobby at all social media. Our Twitter, we post memes. On Instagram, I'm gonna be posting his I Eat His Baby stuff. And our Facebook, we hate Facebook, so it's there, but we don't give a fuck about it.
All right, well, once again,
Forgot the sign off.
I did. Wait, okay. Here we go. Well, once again, thanks for watching. This has been Drink to a Decade podcast. And remember, we drink and we watch things. Cheers.
Cheers.
Babies.